Hey guys, my name is Cynthia. Was diagnosed with adenoid cystic carcinoma, a very rare cancer. I think there's just 3% of Americans that have adenoid cystic carcinoma, very rare cancer. So I was wanting to tell my story on how I found out I had cancer, and then how things transpired out. And really actually to get people to be aware of how your body, know your body. Most people don't. Most people deal with things for years and don't know anything's going on. So here's my story. In 2016, Howard and I, my husband Howard, and I were on vacation in Myrtle Beach. Let's see, was it Myrtle Beach or Hilton Head? I think it was in Hilton Head. And anyway, I dealt with, for many years, I've always dealt with TMJ, okay? TMJ. Where in my jaws would just hurt. And while we were at the beach, I didn't have my mouth guard. So I decided to go get me a football guard. You know, you put it in water and you mold it to your mouth, and it keeps me from grinding my teeth. Okay. So we did that, and the little mouth guard. Oh my gosh. When I put it in my mouth to form, it came out deformed. I mean, it was like, what? This is when I kind of noticed that I have a knot in the back of my mouth, in my palate. And got home from the beach, you know, get back to normal living, going to work, all this. And then one day I was on my way home from work, and a tooth fell out, just root and all. Just fell out, back of my mouth. And that kind of scared me a little, but not to the point that I was in panic, but it scared me. And I have, for many years, I had dealt with sinus problems. I didn't know it at the time, but my girlfriends were always like, Cindy, you have always got a sinus infection, always. And I did. I was always at the doctor, getting tested or getting antibiotic. I was on antibiotics for years for a sinus infection. And then, come to find out, I had cancer in my sinus cavity. Cancer. Yeah. Adenoid cystic carcinoma. Not only was it in my sinus cavity, it was in my right eye, my right ear, my skull base, my palate. I was eat up. My head was eat up. Stage 4. I had stage 4 carcinoma. And the worst thing that day, when I go to the doctor, I would walk in and I'm thinking I'm here for a sinus infection. But, you know, the doctor always comes in and they'll say, what brought you here today? And I just looked at him. And I was kind of giggling. I was like, well, doc, somebody has shoved an elephant up the right side of my head and I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And I didn't even pay attention to, I was looking at pictures last night from over the years, but I didn't even pay attention, not even a bit, of how swollen the right side of my face was. But let's see if I can get this out. Okay. This is a picture of me right before I go in for surgery. And if you can tell that I'm really swollen on that right side. It's just really, really swollen. And it's puffy. But I still didn't think anything about it. And it had gotten so bad that it was kind of pushing over into the other side of my sinuses. So we get to talking and everything, and now we got to find a doctor to get the cancer out, because this is just my ENT. He does the biopsy. He does a biopsy, and we find out that it is cancer, stage 4. And I never really got upset about having cancer. I really got upset at that point because I had 3 kids. And I was going to have to tell my 3 kids that were still in high school that their mother had cancer. And it was bad. So we got to looking for doctors. We got denied by 3 major hospitals. UT, up in Knoxville, because I'm from Knoxville. I live in Knoxville. And Vanderbilt, and the cancer, is it Cancer Center of America in Atlanta? Big cancer place. And we got denied there because I had it in my skull base. Obviously that took a special doctor. Skull base was a different doctor. You had to have skull base experience. And that's where it came out that none of these hospitals could take me, because they could have done my surgery, but I would have still had cancer in my skull base. They didn't have experience for that. So I go back to my ENT that found my cancer. And we're telling him, we've been denied. We can't find a doctor. Is there anything that can you help us? And he got to thinking, and his dad was an ENT doctor too, and he went to school with a surgeon in Vanderbilt that he was almost positive had skull base experience. He's a professor at Vanderbilt. So he calls him and he tells him about my case and that I've been denied at these 3 hospitals, and if he would look at my files. And he told him to send my files over, and it was not long that we got an appointment at Vanderbilt and seen this doctor. And I guess you have to understand that without it being, I'm sure Vanderbilt, they're so busy. Vanderbilt's the best hospital. I do all my everything at Vanderbilt now. I don't even fool with places around here, because with the anatomy I have now of my head, if I go to the hospital for something, they think I have a tumor still. And that's because of so much that has went on in my head. They took out my septum. I I have this big open space, so I can't just blow my nose or, relieve myself that way like most people. It's such a big hole that I can't get that much force behind blowing it out. So I have to push it out with water. I do the flushes several times a day to keep my head clean, especially now during allergy season. Never had allergies until this, but now I brush out my head many times a day, just so that I feel okay, so I can breathe and that I'm not coughing and hacking up stuff all the time. But anyway, we really need to know that. But so having it in my palate and in all the places that I had, I was in pretty bad shape. And so when we realized we were going to have to wait for surgery for probably a good month after meeting with the doctor, I was very upset with that because I wanted it out. I just found out I had a massive tumor in my head and I wanted it out. But my doctor at the time, my doctor said, Cindy, it's going to take a time for me to get a team together. It's going to take a team to work on what's going on. So that is how all that came about. And when they did that, he said, if anything happens, just give me a call and may have you just bring her here and admit her. So I go to home up almost time for surgery. Doing really good. I'm still working. I'm trying to be real positive about it because if I feel like if I let this bother me and make me sad, the only person that's hurting is me. So I've always been really upbeat about life and upbeat about, being happy and making things the way you want them. Life's short. Life's too short. So I'm going to be telling more about my cancer. I'm just getting this started. So I'm going to be telling more about my cancer and showing pictures. So I really wanted to put this out there so that people who have things going on, if they don't seem right, get them checked out. You don't know. And you don't know what's going to happen until you find out that what's bothering you is really nothing. And if it's nothing, great. But if it is something, find out. Because if you know your body, you'll know something's not right. But stay tuned. I'm going to get more pictures so that you can really see my story up close. Thanks for listening.